Now playing.
The higher you get, the harder it gets.
I never been scared of a little contact.
Creed 3 is the best movie in the trilogy.
No friends in the industry.
A fantastic directorial debut from Michael B. Jordan.
I can't wait for this.
Jonathan Majors is superbly frightening.
Ain't no threats here, just promises.
It surpasses all expectations.
My brothers and my enemies.
All right, little darling, I'll see you in a minute. Don't worry, I'll be right back.
Creed 3, rated PG-13, now playing only in theaters.
What's up, y'all? Your boy G-Man from a G and a Pimp. I got Coach Cap in the building. How you doing, Cap?
Yo, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Man, what a trailer that was for Creed 3. I know I hosted the premiere on this past Tuesday, and you were at the premiere there. We didn't get a chance to link up, but you were there. I saw the movie on. I couldn't stay and watch the movie on Tuesday because my wife hadn't seen it, and she wanted to watch it. So I had to watch Creed 2 on Saturday to kind of, catch up. And then I watched Creed 3 yesterday at the theater. So I wanted to go pay for it. So I'm kind of glad I kind of put my little, 2 cents in there to pay my respects to the movie, man. And I thought it was a great movie. What'd you think?
I thought it was an awesome movie. I got mixed emotions about some of the stuff that I saw, but overall, good movie, good quality movie. Definitely at the end of it, people were, kind of jumping and cheering. Like, I'm like, bro, it's a movie, but they was actually jumping and cheering like they was at a real fight.
Yeah, no, and you brought up a good point, and I wanted to touch on that because I was talking to my coworker. He's a big Creed fan too. I said, man, before we went on this live, I said, I don't know if that would fly. And I know Apollo Creed gave a Rocky Balboa a shot, but the way they set that up in Rocky was kind of cool. I just don't think that really would fly nowadays, where somebody would just come out of prison, no fights, and fight for the world championship. It was kind of,
Exactly.
That was like, and then they throwing haymakers for 12 rounds, which I wish that was back in boxing, like the big old fights back in the day of Hagler, Hearn, and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It was just real funny how the opponent, I can't think of that, Jonathan Majors, I guess.
Yeah, Damian Anderson. Yeah,
Damian. Yeah. So that gentleman, the way he played his part, he was very menacing. He's very menacing. But I love the way the storyline went to where, Felicia Rashad, his mom or stepmom, said, while you mad at me, all the while you need to be watching, who's supposed to be your boy, your brother. He's not really your brother. And
yeah.
And then you see him holding hands with an old boy that, I can't get a movie.
Yeah, you want to get a hold.
Can we talk about the movie?
Yeah, you know what? Why not? I mean,
So I'm gonna talk about it without giving so much away, right? Because I know there's still a lot of people that probably hadn't seen it. So, long story short, to see that part, and it had me sitting there going, oh. Like, to know that he had that much frame of mind and he had mapped out a plan to get his foot in the door and put himself in position to end up fighting for the world championship and everything. So I just thought, I was like, oh, that's cold. Yeah. This dude is scary,
And I like the fact that they set it up. It looked like a fight that's a real fight, like the way they had the ring, they had the zone, they had the Hennessy. It looked like it was a real fight. The WBC belt. I mean, they had. It was
the ESPN interview prior to. Oh yeah, it all looked real legit. Even to have some real pro boxers. Or people that's connected in the boxing world today, like Terrence Crawford,
Jose Benavidez. Benavidez played. He played the heavyweight champ at the time when he lost.
Hey, now wait a minute. That's what was funny to me. I'm like, man, this dude is a middleweight at best.
Yeah, they had the heavyweight,
and they got him playing the heavyweight. Oh my God, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, who would you put on there? Andy Reeves. I thought Benavidez did a good job, but he's not a heavyweight, like you said.
But here's the problem with that. If you turn around and you put somebody like Andy Ruiz, who's a small heavyweight, right? But he still probably stands and looks down on Creed.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan's character. So you had to put things in perspective so it would kind of line up and actually look the part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Terrence Crawford had a cameo in there. They had Canelo was in there.
Here's somebody else that a lot of people don't realize was in that movie. Layla Ali's former husband.
I did hear about. I didn't know which one he was, but I did hear about that.
So the guy that played Damien's trainer, he was a tall black guy with a beard. Mm-hmm. His name is Yahya McClain. He's a former two-time world champion, cruiserweight world champion, and he went on to manage Layla Ali's career. They were married for a period of time. They have kids together and everything, and he's done a lot of stuff in the entertainment industry, marketing and promotion. So he's still making great waves in the entertainment industry. But I saw that, and I was like, man, that looked like old boy, and I couldn't think of his name, and I got a chance to look it up, and sure enough, that's Yahya. So,
man, if you haven't seen the movie, I got to go check it out. It was the number one movie over the weekend. I don't know.
Number one sports movie in history, supposedly.
Yeah. Man, I think the first night alone was $22 million that they made. You see the opening weekend, $58.6 million over the weekend. So
I think they may be over 100 million now.
Yeah, they that was the big win. I think Michael B. Jordan. I think the IMAX cameras they use. You can see the punches. You can see the liver looking like coming out the back. I mean, it was just a great overall shot movie. I think.
So here's one for you. I really liked when Benavidez was his intro, his walk to the ring. Do you remember that? I don't want to give it away. But
don't give it away.
That whole intro when they came in with the smoke and stuff, that was fire.
Yeah, I mean they really went above and beyond to try to make it as real as possible. You had the real announcers in there. I mean, you had Max Kellerman being the movie I think was done right. I think it did boxing justice. Now, if you're going to be a critique and all that and say, well, fighters don't fight, they won't never let fighters take that much punishment like that without the referee jumping in and calling the fight. But it's a movie, you know?
Yeah. I got a fun fact for you. You ready?
Yeah, come on.
Creed. It was either Creed 1 or Creed 2. It might have been Creed 2. Coach Cap almost ended up in the movie Creed.
Really?
One of them two Creeds, yeah.
How did that come about? Or what happened?
So my wife is one of my greatest supporters. She actually reached out when they were doing the casting call. They were looking for guys that were, middle age, 40 and above, boxing experience. They wanted to bring them in to be extras or whatever, a part of the movie. And she sent my stats or whatever in, and they actually responded. But the problem was I did not live in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted you to be local. So,
yeah.
Just a little quick fun fact.
Well, there you go. You almost had your shot at fame. Hey, but you're still doing big things, man. Talk about you and your students, man, and your gym and what you got going on. I know you're going to be hitting the road pretty soon.
So yeah. Glad you brought that up. Just this past weekend, literally it started Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had this Houston Senior Golden Gloves. My son fought in the 165-pound division, open elite. And we had two tough fights. His first opponent, Robert Montgomery, big respect to him. He made it all the way to the Olympic trials in 2020. So that was his first opponent. He's a real crafty, tricky guy. But my son picked him apart and actually became the real challenge for Robert. And so we walked away with the win there. And then the next day, we were dealing with a real tall piece of puzzle that we had to figure out. He was tall and long, about 6'3". My son is in a butt about 6'1", 6'2". And so here we are fighting this guy about 6'3", tall and long. But my son was just too quick for him, and he picked him apart. It was a really close fight. It could have went either way, but in the end, my son got the thumbs up, and we walked away with the win. So yeah, now we're getting ready to head to Fort Worth for the state championships in 2 weeks. So.
Wow, you got to keep us updated on that, man. We got I see you got a really good prospect on your hands right there. I know he's your son. You training him and all that. What about any other boxers you got in your camp?
Yeah. So besides him, of course, I got the TSU Boxing Club. I'm the head coach for the TSU Boxing Club. We're building that up. We are actually working at this moment. We are working on hosting a couple of different boxing events on campus at TSU. So we're in talks, working all those details out now. Possibly shooting for the first one in April. And then the second one, I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say the Labor Day Classic weekend is going to be real big.
Man, talking to Coach Cap. Real quick, let's get back to, I know we talked about the Creed movie and how the heavyweight, you had, actors playing heavyweights, but in real boxing, a heavyweight is, what is it, 201 and up? Or how is that classified in boxing?
So a typical professional heavyweight is you're looking at about 195, 199 and up, 199 and above, right? They've recently come out with a new weight division that's between heavyweight and cruiserweight because traditional heavyweights, Joe Louis was probably your smallest heavyweight. He was probably about my size, right? I'm 6'1". Right now I'm a little heavy, so I'm over probably 250, 260 something. But then Joe Louis was probably 220 at best, 220 at the most. So here he is. Nowadays you got guys that are 6'9", 7 foot tall, 280, 300 and something pounds. And so, they're calling those guys super heavyweights. Then you got the heavyweight or I can't think of the name right now, but it's whatever it is, just call it a junior heavyweight. So it's a new division in the pro ranks. Then you got the cruiserweight. And then light heavyweight, middleweight, or super middleweight, junior middleweight, or super welter, welter, lightweight. So, to think about the weight divisions, just think lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight. If you can keep it in that perspective, right. They have variances with each of them, but for the most part, that's ultimately what you're looking at.
Let me ask you, what is your favorite weight class division? Just you personally, like watching, and not what you're coaching, but just watching prize fighters and all the rankings and the boxing world. What's your favorite weight division that you like to watch?
I mean, of course, like anybody, I like the heavyweights. I like the heavyweights. I like the big bombs, the big
man. They can end a fight with one punch in the first round. I don't know if you saw the fight on Saturday night with Brandon Figueroa and Mark Magsayo.
I did.
I think they were featherweights, man, but they were throwing bombs. But things with them kind of fighters is you get a lot of action packed because they're so small, but they carry a lot of they throw a lot of punches and bunches. What they say. I thought that was an extremely competitive fight. I thought the judges had a little bit crazy on the scorecards. Figueroa did win it. I thought it was closer than that, but that's the kind of fight that I like to see. Not so much the featherweights. I think I like the welterweights, junior middleweights around there. But man, that fight on Saturday night was definitely, they were throwing punches and bunches for real.
Yeah. No, I did get a chance. Luckily, I did get a chance to see that fight because a good friend of mine who is the former Olympic head coach or assistant coach, Jeff Mays, he's also a former Army guy like myself. Mm-hmm. He was the cut man for Figueroa that night. So he was there at the ring working. And it's funny because he texted me prior to, like a couple of days before the fight, he said, send me the picture. He said, hey, I'll be working this fight. And I said, hey, while you at it, while you wrapping his hands, hey, teach him some actual boxing skill too. So he actually can go in there and do something. And ironically, because he normally doesn't fight he fights the way he fights, but it's a lot sloppier. This time, he still kept true to himself, fighting the way he fights, but there was a lot more technical boxing skill that I had never seen from him before. So I was really impressed. The guy that he was fighting is a real strong puncher and puts people to sleep. And so to see him walk through him and wear him down, that dude was exhausted after that.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go down a couple times towards the 11th, 12th round. I know the referee kept calling some slips towards the end, but you know, that's boxing, man. I'm sure you've been on the end of some controversial decisions and things like that, but that's how boxing goes, right?
Yeah. You know, Evander Holyfield is quoted for saying, if you can weather another man's storm, you can win any fight, right? And so through that fight, Figueroa was able to weather old boy's power, and he made it through that storm.
And then combinations, Magsayo was throwing. He was throwing like 5 and 6 punch combinations at one time. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. That boy is strong. So I'm sure, you know, this is a valuable lesson from him, you know, because in boxing, we always say it's not a loss, it's a lesson. So he definitely going to learn from this. And I expect him to come back even stronger.
All right. Before we get out of here, Coach Cap, I got to ask you, man, your top five boxers, who would you say? It don't have to be, it could be all time, going back to, you know, when you first started watching boxing. I'll give you some of mine. But if you can just name either top 5 pound for pound boxers, either now or overall, who would you
got both? How about both?
Yeah, that's fair.
So top five of all time overall. We're gonna start at number 5, Thomas Hitman Hearns. And fun fact, I was actually in the gym with him, Holyfield, Emmanuel Stewart, right here at Main Street Gym in Houston, Texas, years ago, training. So I got a chance to get exposed to all of them. But Tommy Hitman Hearns, after him, Sugar Ray Leonard is number 4, Marvelous Marvin Hagler 3, Mike Tyson 2, and of course Muhammad Ali number 1, the GOAT.
Man, you know, I was thinking about boxing and some of the pound for pound greats. Now, I wasn't around to see, you know, Muhammad Ali, and I did see highlights. I did go back and watch round 1 of Hagler Hearns, which is probably the best round in the history of boxing. If I haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's on YouTube. Hagler versus Hearns, round 1. I don't know how either of them guys stayed on their feet for that round. It was an incredible display of boxing. I mean, that was crazy. But if I had to give you my top 5, I'm gonna go with, I guess, fighters that I grew up watching, who I think are my top 5. And I won't say in any particular order, like, because I like them all. But I'm gonna say one of my favorite fighters to watch always, because the man never ducked nobody. You can call him what you want. He fought everybody. That was Oscar De La Hoya. Golden Glove. I don't know how many weight divisions, but he didn't back down from nobody. He fought Pernell Whitaker. He fought Mayweather. He fought Pacquiao. He fought everybody. In the day and age now where people are ducking fighters, they don't want to fight. They're trying to protect the O and all that. De La Hoya didn't care about that. He fought Mosley twice, 3, whatever. I got De La Hoya up there. He's really, really up there on my list. I got Roy Jones Jr., who is one of my favorites.
He was a strong possible candidate on my list.
Yeah, I got Roy Jones Jr., Canelo Alvarez, obviously, although, you know, lately I haven't been liking some of the opponents he's been having lately, but you can't underestimate.
You can't knock what he's done in the conference.
Oh yeah. Although I have him in my top 5, but I had to put him there because he was 50-0. Although I don't agree with some of his opponents. Floyd Mayweather. Don't get me wrong. I love Mayweather. I like his boxing style, but I just think he played the game the way he did. Like, he fought Pacquiao 7 years too late. You know, he fought Canelo when he was 21 years old, 22, whatever he was. I mean, but that's not. I mean, I get it. But he's still, to me, a top five, a top five, regardless of what people say. And my other one is Manny Pacquiao.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my top five. What do you think about my top five?
I have no qualms with it. It is they are all worthy individuals. Yeah, they're all worthy individuals. I have no complaint with it.
Let me ask you this. So why is it that it's so hard for us to get prize fighters to fight each other nowadays? You know, back then, De La Hoya would say, I want to fight Pernell Whitaker. Let's get it on. I want to fight. Why is it that we can't get Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? They say they're ducking each other. Why can't we get these fights to happen? You know, we finally got Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, which has been in the works a couple of years now. We're finally getting them, but they're still young. But why can't we get, you know, the fight between, you know, Terrence Crawford and
Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence?
I understand. They both undefeated. It's like they don't want to lose their O. So you got Terrence Crawford fighting, you know, some tomato cans.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that they're tomato cans. If you look at Terrence Crawford, if you compare the two resumes of quality of fighters that they fought, I'd honestly have to say it's very balanced. It's very balanced. But
I'm like, you know, they had a fight with Crawford, with Spence set up, and then he's fighting David Avocado. So he fought that dude. And then, you know, you got Spence wanted to fight Keith Thurman, which that is definitely no tomato can. Keith Thurman's 30-1. I just don't understand. Why can't they get together and say, man, let's get this fight on? What is the problem?
I mean, I think when it all boils down to it, it's money. It's money. You know, they're arguing, oh, I should get 60-40. I'm the bigger draw. No, it should be 70-30. You know, they're all the back and forth. So at the end of the day, they're both going to make a lot of money. I think that fight would generate almost as much as Pacquiao Mayweather, if not exceed it. Or potentially, you know, threaten to exceed what they did. So yeah, like you, I'm like you. Let's get it on, man.
Yeah, I want to see the great fights, man. I want to see. We're finally getting Benavidez and Plant, which is going to be a great fight.
Oh, who you got on that one?
Man, you know, I saw Plant's last fight against Anthony Durrell. He looked really good, but man, Benavidez. To me, he's just a big dude. He's big. He throws a lot of punches. I don't know if Plant can withstand that. But Plant's a boxer. He's a pure boxer. You know, I don't know. If I had to put my money on it, I would have to go with Benavidez on that one.
So, you know, when I was first asked about this fight about a couple months ago, without hesitation, Benavidez is gonna kill him. But then about 5 seconds later, I said, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. Let me rethink this. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the sport of boxing, styles make fights, right? And I'm gonna tell you, a damn good boxer will beat the greatest puncher on the best day. Now, I'm not saying that puncher can't beat that great boxer. You know, if he makes a mistake and slip up, whatever, get caught. But you watch when they fight, Benavidez is gonna have a hard time. Matter of fact, I envision that he's gonna be doing a lot of chasing.
Yeah, well, I also think too that Benavidez got so much anger built up in him towards Plant that he's gonna want to go and try to knock his head off every chance he gets. And I don't know if that's smart boxing, but I can't wait. You know, that one you got.
I'm gonna give you a prime example.
Yeah,
Mayweather. Diego Corrales. Remember that fight?
Yep.
Corrales was knocking everybody out. That you want an example for the Caleb Plant Benavidez fight? That's the perfect example. Mayweather Corrales fight. Yep.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait. I'm a huge boxing fan. I actually had my hotel booked for Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis when they originally had the original date of April 15th, and I booked my hotel room in Vegas and all that. And then obviously they switched it a week later to April 22nd. So I can't make it for that
one. I'm just curious, you know, being in your field of work, do you get hookups?
Well, you know, before COVID, I did all the Radio Row fights. So they would send us down there for all the big fights to do Radio Row, and we had to go to all the fights. So yeah, my last fight that I went to was I believe it was Pacquiao and Adrian Broner.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, we went down there for Canelo Mayweather. We were there for Canelo Cotto. We were there for just pretty much everybody. All the fights that they were on Showtime pay-per-view or HBO boxing back then. Or on Fox Sports, yeah, they would send us down there to do Radio Row. So that was something that I look forward to all the time. I'm hoping they bring it back, but you know, as of now, there's nothing on that. So I'm just going on my own. But I'm sure I can still get me a media pass if I applied for one. I'm sure I can. They know me down there. Yeah, so that's a good fight there too. So man, it's good. We got a good year of boxing coming up, Coach Cap. Man, I appreciate you for tuning in and chopping it up when we ain't talking boxing, because you know I could talk boxing all day long, and I know you can too.
Yes. Hey, listen, before I go, I would be remiss if I did not shout out a good friend of mine, because me at that movie premiere where you were, all happened, I think, as a total accident. My wife had already been working on trying to get an early premiere showing down here in Houston. And so we were actually in contact with Warner Brothers, and she was actually trying to get Michael B. Jordan here, right?
Wow.
But for whatever reason, that fell through. And through the power of networking, I met a guy named Samuel Trujillo, who's a home inspector at a networking event. He finds out I'm a boxing coach. He connects me with this young lady named Yuri, who does these free fitness boot camps. Mm-hmm. Somehow or another, she got word from a marketing company that had free tickets for her, free tickets or passes to that early showing. So talk fell out on my end, but ironically, that looped around and came around and found us. And she's like, hey, would you like to bring some of your boxers and, you know, maybe for motivation and inspiration? I was like, heck yes. Man. So that's how that all played out, man. You know, people always tell me all the time, serendipity and the universe and how things seem to work out, and just timing of everything. That happened. My son went Golden Gloves. Then this right here, me and you talking, doing this now, is happening. And now we're, you know, possibly the TSU Boxing Club, the boxing event at school is we looking at doing that hopefully in April. So a lot is coming down the pipe, man. And I just thank you for the opportunity to come on here and speak. But yeah, her name is Yuri, and she has a boxing on Instagram. I mean, on Instagram, not boxing, but her Instagram page is fitmixcommunities_org. fitmixcommunities_org. So she looked out for us. And so I'm returning the favor now by shouting her out. And if you want to learn more about myself and everything that I'm doing, I have the CAP nonprofit is Community Athletic Partnership, where we look to support amateur boxing as a whole, locally, nationally, internationally. So you name it, we're doing it. Yeah. And find me on Instagram at Coach Cap.
There it is right there. I got a shout out to Hennessy too. Never Stop, Never Settle, man. They've been big sponsor of the show. Matter of fact, for the Creed movie, they got a drink called the Creed Punch. Have you heard about that? The Creed Punch. Basically,
I think I did hear you or somebody talking about that.
Yeah,
I'd love to taste it. Is it comes in a bottle or something?
No, actually, you get the Hennessy VSOP, coconut water, pineapple juice, and grenadine, topped with lime juice and orange bitters. And you can get the whole recipe at Hennessy.com. It's called the Creed Punch. So, hey, if you're looking for a new drink, Coach Cap, I appreciate you, man, for stopping with hanging in here for a few minutes, man, and talking boxing, man, and much success to you and your boxing club and your boy and everything else you got going on in the boxing world.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you having me, man.
There it is, y'all. Coach Cap, GMan 97.9 The Box, y'all. Peace.